All right. Well, welcome in. I am Pastor Ron, and we want to thank those of you as the service broadcast is just wrapping up. Obviously, I'm on my back porch. I'm not on stage, and I didn't time warp over here that quickly. So, what an amazing day of worship experience. Services we have. I want to thank you guys for joining in, and just like it says on the bottom, we really wanted to provide this opportunity, this Sunday night in the Pines, an opportunity, a post-worship discussion, a time for those of you to join in and ask questions or share thoughts from the sermon or the music that was played, or just questions about the church. We're here for you. But in the meantime, I want to bring on some very special guests who are waiting in the green room to just talk and blab and have discussion until y'all come up with something really good to ask, and we'll bring in your comments and everything. And so just like this, we'll bring in Corey. Hey, Corey, what's up? He says hi. So, hey, Corey, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining the show tonight. So first thing, as we talk and as we wait for some of your questions and comments to come in, such an amazing sermon today. Just a great timely message for where we're at in our world today from Pastor Ernie. So we want to thank him. Well, first up tonight is Blam Pam. What's up, Pam?
What's up?
How are you doing in your cozy little home over there?
Yeah, I'm on my couch. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, thanks for, I know I probably woke you up from getting to bed early, but thanks for jumping into the show.
Life.
Thanks for jumping into the show. And so for those of you guys who don't know, Pam runs our outreach at the church, and more specifically our recenter and everything that we have going on in there. This was the great French fry week. Was it fry or big potato week, or what'd you call it?
Operation Hot Potato.
Yes, Operation Hot Potato. 40,000 pounds.
42,500 pounds of potatoes were distributed throughout the White Mountains, even out to Flagstaff, Springerville. I mean, White River, it went everywhere.
Now I have to ask you.
Not viral.
Why potatoes? Why potatoes?
Well, there's an organization that brings in trucks full of produce, and so we wanted to find the one that would last the longest. So potatoes.
Man, I gotta tell you, when I heard that many fries are coming in, I was thinking about going all In-N-Out burger. Like I was just gonna start, pounding them over at my house.
Yeah, that's a great idea. What's crazy is I didn't even get any potatoes.
Yeah, I didn't get one.
I didn't get a single potato.
But I gotta imagine those things went to some really amazing places.
No, they did. They went to the places they belonged, actually, where they belonged, not to me. But I did feel like we all needed to come up with like potato nicknames after that.
Yeah.
Like pot, French fry, big fry.
Yeah, you're just having way too much fun over there.
Yeah,
well, promise me next time that we can get like 50 pounds and we can have staff and pastors over to my house and we can do an In-N-Out assembly line and make some fries or something.
I'm in next
That's
time.
what we need to do. We'll put Ernie on the washing potatoes. Yeah. Well, what other things do we have going on over at the Recenter? I know it's been for a lot of 8-10 weeks here of a lot of similar things, but for those people who are tuning in that maybe haven't seen anything or haven't seen what's going on, why don't you just tell everybody what's going on?
So we have Tina down there making masks daily, which is pretty awesome. We open an In-N-Out burger. Yes.
We'll put Joe. Hey, wouldn't Joe look cool with one of those In-N-Out hats making fries? Yeah.
And a little apron. Yeah.
Yeah, apron.
So anyhow, we have soup Tuesday and Thursday evenings from 4 to 5. We have drop-off and pickups. So if you're looking to drop off any supplies, or if your organization is doing pickups of supplies, we've kind of become the hub for that. And so that's from 4 to 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays, along with soup 4 to 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then we're also partnering with Blue Ridge on the school feeding program. Yeah. So that's Tuesdays and Fridays from 10 to noon.
Awesome. And we have some really exciting things coming up at the Recenter. Two just off the top of my head, the Mamas program and a prisoner reentry program that we're going to be taking the lead on. And so why don't you tell a little bit about both those programs?
So the Mamas program is an amazing program. It's designed to bring mothers out of poverty to prosperity, better health outcomes, better financial outcomes. It's going to be an amazing program. We have over 50 allies lined up for that program. So that's really amazing. And our allies will basically walk with these women through the program and kind of be there almost like a mentor. And then we have the prisoner reentry program that will be starting. We're actually hiring for a coordinator for that position right now. And that's another amazing program. We were approached by Yavapai's prisoner reentry program, and we were able to get a grant with them to go ahead and run that. So that's going to be amazing. They've given us all their wisdom, and I think it's just going to be, it's awesome. It's just a great thing.
It is. Well, thanks for the update. You do an amazing job over there. We make a good team, and lots of cool stuff going on over at the Recenter. So if anybody would like to get a hold of you, how would they do that? No, just give them your cell phone.
Oh, yeah. So, so it's pam@thechurchaz.org is my email address. So if you have any questions, if you want to join any of our Recenter teams, we have a lot of volunteer places, or if you just want to talk.
All right. Well, thanks, Pam. Have a good night.
Yeah, see you later. Thank you.
We'll see you. So there you have it. A little bit of an update on the Recenter. So if you're just joining in, amazing day of worship services. And this show is built so that you can come in and ask questions or make comments about anything, or just if you have questions about the church. In the meantime, we'll yap about other things. And so one of the things I wanted to make sure that we began to talk about is we will be meeting again, and this week we have a really important announcement on that, so stay tuned for that. But when we do, a lot of programs are going to come back into play that have been paused, and one of the really great programs that we have at the church is our women's ministries. And so I'm gonna take a dive into the Allen household here, and there we go. How's it going? Now, wait a second. When we timed this thing up a little bit ago, this is Pastor Chad Squared. When we timed this thing up a little bit ago, your house was not this quiet. So what'd you do with the kids? Come on, be honest.
They are shoved in their bedroom with the door shut.
Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome. Megan, thanks for coming on, and we'll get to Chad in a minute so he can scoot out of the picture. Just push him over. But I wanted to talk a little bit about thanks for joining us. I wanted to talk a little bit about the women's ministry that we have going on. Why don't you tell us, because it's a great opportunity for women to get plugged in to Bible studies, to actual corporate gatherings and things like that. Why don't you share? I know some things may be up in the air because as we continue into this, out of this time of COVID, we're not exactly sure, but why don't you give everybody a little bit of a taste of what you love about women's ministries?
I love the opportunity that we have to get together and to connect and to kind of just share life. We're all at different walks of life and different stages of life, but we all are walking through life. So it's a time for fellowship. It's a time for worship and getting to know one another better and getting to know Jesus better, which is the ultimate goal. So we meet typically we meet on the second Saturday of every month, and it's called The Gathering. I meet at the church, and we have brunchy, breakfasty type stuff, and then usually a little bit of worship, and then it's kind of different. Sometimes we do like question and answer discussion. Sometimes we have a speaker. Sometimes Lori does Bible journaling has done that a couple of times. So we kind of mix it up a little bit.
There's Lori weighing in right there with the whoop whoop. And so it's a lot of fun. I see you guys getting together and just, again, meeting together corporately on that Saturday morning. And so stay tuned. If you're a lady out there and you've been looking for getting together with the women's ministry, Megan, how can they get a hold of you? Or I know they could also get a hold of Darcy or
Morgan.
Morgan, sorry. She was,
Yeah.
was hoping to try to get her on the show tonight, but
Well, and we do have a Facebook page. It's the Redeemed Women's Ministry of the Church. So if you just search the Redeemed Women's Ministry of the Church, you should be able to find our Facebook page. You can contact us there, or myself or Darcy or Morgan. And then when we do meet up at church again, in the women's bathroom, right when you walk in the door, right in your front is a big display that Morgan made that has
in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Wow.
In the bathroom.
Like, I got to talk to, why do we not have anything in the guys' bathroom? I got to talk to somebody about this.
Step up again.
Yeah, stuff in the guys' bathroom is usually not great.
In and out, real quick, in and out. But it has all of the activities or things that are going on, Bible studies, any groups are all right there with times and all that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. So when we do get back, look in the women's bathroom for information. I did not even know that. That's pretty cool. Is this like a secret that you shouldn't be telling me?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Megan, for filling us in. And again, if you have any questions out there about women's ministries, you can make sure that you jump in. You can shoot us a message. Front desk at the church at TCA. Front desk at thechurchaz.org should get you to a place where you can ask some questions about that. And so jump into that. Well, we had a great message today, and I'm going to bring in Mr. Savage, who is muted right now, and I'm sure that's not on purpose.
I'm here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm going to also bring in. We're going to go three-way here with Pastor Chad, who's also muted. I just wanted to talk to you guys real quick about this message. It was so important today. Chad, you had a really funny story that came through you to Ernie. Did that really happen? Now, come on.
I mean, you got to trust your pastor, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So a really telling story. Why don't you tell that story really quick in case somebody missed it?
My pastor was on his way to church, and then they saw a car on the side of the road with a flat tire. And his son said, Dad, can we stop and help him? And, pastor said, no, we've got to get to church. And his son then said, well, I hope someone who's not a Christian comes by
and helps him because the Christians were all going to church. And so, we hope that there's not a Christian or somebody who's not a Christian helps them. Well, why do you guys think, I'll throw it to you first, Brian. Why is it so hard or maybe it's not hard for you, but why is it so hard in and out of life and a regular flow of life to really remember those who are hurting, or sometimes it's like the people who are literally like roadside? Why is that so hard, or do you find it hard?
I don't know that I find it particularly hard, but I know that all of us are. I mean, we're all busy. We're all running from place to place, whether that's work or to church on a Sunday morning, like Chad just described. And what I think is difficult is to recognize that need in the moment and to make time to help others out.
Yeah, and because we're all so busy, right? And what about for you, Chad?
Yeah, I would say the same. It's busyness of not really wanting to get involved. Sometimes it's just easier to maybe give a little money and relieve the conscience rather than actually getting involved, loving the person, and becoming part of life.
Well, speaking of getting involved, I'm gonna put you guys on the spot since you were brave enough. Let's just call it that way to click the link and come into the green room.
You were about to say dumb enough, weren't you?
I was. Thank you. I was, but brave is like a much more positive.
We'll go with brave.
Word. Okay.
Right.
So with everything going on in the world, when we talk about the story of the Good Samaritan that Pastor Ernie talked about today, it had some. That story has some huge implications in the ethnicity and prejudice and things like that. With everything going on in the world, how much do you guys think, just living here in the White Mountains, does this actually impact us?
Wow.
Because we live in a very diverse community.
We do.
We do live in a very diverse community, but yet also kind of sheltered, I guess you will, from inner city stuff. Or maybe you guys don't think that it affects us, or do you think it affects us at all?
I think we've seen a limited effect. One of the things I love about the White Mountains, though, is the kind of neighborly community that we have.
Yeah, right.
With two different tribal nations on either side of us, and
Yep.
just that constant interaction that we have with people of a different culture. And man, I think that's one of our strengths, quite frankly. In
I
the White
agree.
Mountains.
I agree. What's your take on that, Chad?
Yeah, the same. I think we are very blessed to have a diverse community, and as Pastor Ernie talked about in this sermon, we have people visiting from out of town, far away.
Yeah.
So the impact for me has been really trying to educate myself and understand others' perspectives. That they don't see not everyone sees the world like I do, and so educating myself on this and being open to seeing the world through a different lens is really challenging me.
Yeah.
My favorite question of the day, though, was who is my neighbor, right? And unless you're standing alone, you don't get to ask who your neighbor is. And I've never looked at the story from that perspective. And what Chad just talked about with people coming up here, not only our neighbors that live here all the time, but people that come up here in a resort community and show up every weekend. I personally enjoy it. I like the activity and life up here, but man, those people that show up not only feed our economy, but they are our neighbor, and we should be showing them Christ, as Ernie talked about. Praise the Lord, He's brought them all up here to see what Christ looks like through us.
I agree. One of the things that always excites me is when we talk about, being making a Jesus culture in the White Mountains. A Jesus culture, like a culture that doesn't necessarily demand a Jesus response, but that we can be Jesus to people, and that we have the opportunity in the White Mountains, and not just us three, or everybody on staff or anything like that, but we, as in the Christians in the White Mountains, have the opportunity to really shine. And when people come here, to really be different, I guess, and that's a cool thing. That's a really cool thing. So let's step back real quick into how do you guys handle injustice? So I know for me, I'll speak for me. When I see injustice in our world, or I've been around. I can remember, quick story. I'm on the sidelines doing a football sidelines report, right? And I see a fight over here, and I see somebody get sucker punched, and I couldn't be sideline guy anymore. I had to get in the middle of it because I cannot handle. I mean, I'm literally over there, 40 some years old, respectively, over there wrestling with these youngsters, and so it was funny because my mic was all garbled, and the guys up in the broadcast booth were like, "What were you doing down there?" And I was like, "It's just something that comes up in me when I see injustice." When you guys see that, and I'm sure that you have, how do you react, or what do you do, or what are we to do?
Chad, what do you got?
If you ever hurt somebody, we don't want to know about it, but.
Well, I think the big thing for me is to no longer tolerate complacency. Yeah, it's so easy just to sit back and stay out, and that God is a just God, and that justice needs to be what we're about because He's about it. And so, not excusing ourselves, but prayerfully getting involved and loving people, that we create that culture that hopefully. The Jesus culture will be known here, and back east we call it Southern hospitality. That the South is known for their hospitality. That they can know the White Mountains for hospitality, for love, justice, for all of this takes us getting involved and not being complacent. Yeah, good point. Good point. Well, I love the White Mountains for the same reason. I mean, I think it's cool that it's strange because we're not. There are some people who are from here, but for a lot of the part of the people I know, we all moved in, transplant from different areas. And so that's pretty cool.
That's a really cool thing for me, because the diversity, and then not to dismiss the diversity that we have here with the tribes, like you mentioned, Brian. I just love it that my kids get to go to a public school where there is a lot of diversity, and they get to learn about other cultures and other people and how they think and different worldviews. And so it's a true blessing to live here. Well, what else? Anything else out of the sermon catch you in a way, or in a unique way? Or
I already gave away my favorite part.
dang it! Oh man! All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and I'm gonna step over here to Chad. Thanks, Brian. I'm gonna
Thank you.
let you hit the sack. You're a busy man, so thanks for jumping in, Chad. As we begin to look forward to meeting together as a church. That big announcement is coming out this week, and Pastor Ernie's going to lead us through this. We have a team of people, medical professionals, which actually Brian is on that team, who are working really hard thinking about all these details, because we do have a different dynamic here in the White Mountains, where we still have a community that we love just to the south of us is dealing with this in a big way. But as we begin to look towards meeting together again, can you give us any inside information on, or do you have any on what might be happening back in the kids department, or in the next gen department? I'll put you on the spot, dude. You guys are never going to join my show again. Like, I'm gonna ask people to come on this thing and be like, no, thanks, we're kind of busy. We're going to be grilling burgers. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know with our students, middle school and high school, Tuesday night, 6:00 at Mountain Meadow. Meeting there so we can stay socially distanced. You know, we have our space to be spread out there. So right now that's the big news, and we've been having a good turnout. So I want to make sure everyone's aware. Tuesday nights at 6 at Mountain Meadows.
Awesome. We want to say hi to Gary, who's tuning in. You know, we can't wait it's going to be so great to meet everybody back. You know, hundreds and hundreds of people that we get to see walking halls and things like this, that we've just kind of missed out on a little bit. And it's been so strange to me because, you know, Chad, a lot of folks have said, I've only been attending your church online since after COVID hit. And that conversation happens a lot, which is really, strange, I guess you'd say. It's really strange. Actually, a lot of people that we were interviewing for jobs were saying, yeah, I've just, I've just only been coming since COVID. So I'm looking forward to meeting, you know, some of the people at the church. And so you've never been through anything like this.
No, never. And what the crazy thing is with it being online, man, our online is cool, but you can't wait. You know, it's like the best is yet to come to see each other, and it's just going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't think I've told you the story, but I don't know if you know Jordan from our worship team, who has been pretty instrumental on stage. And a few weeks ago, he caught me off guard because he said, he's like, man, he goes, I just can't wait to meet the people of this church. I'm like, you've been on stage and you've been playing and singing worship songs, but he just came in right after COVID, or just as it hit. Oh, and, wow. You know, even for some of us on stage, we don't even know the impact or who we're talking to sometimes. And so it's been a real unique thing. But anyhow, well, I'm going to let you get to sleep. That's a really, can I wear your t-shirt sometime? What's that say? Ding, ding.
Ding, ding.
Nice.
You know, we're going 12 rounds.
Nice. Yeah, I don't have any cool t-shirts like that. I just wear my jacket. Okay. Thanks, Chad. Have a good night.
Appreciate you having me on.
Bye. Yeah. So that's going to be it for us tonight. I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. Again, Gary, Robert, Corey, Lori, just to name a few. Thank you guys for jumping in. And don't forget, if you know anybody who has a question about the church, a question about God, question about Jesus, the person of, make sure that you send them along, send them our way. We'd love to talk to them. I mentioned it last week in an update. The best way, if you need prayer, you want to get a hold of us, just call our office. You can call basically my personal cell phone just by dialing my office number. That's 362-8910, 928-362-8910, extension 020, and that rings straight to my cell phone. As for all of our staff, if you want to get a hold of them, go to our website, look up our numbers, or shoot us an email, get a hold of us some way. We care about you guys. We love you guys. And we just developed this show this Sunday night as a way to have a discussion, to be able to answer your questions, since we're not meeting right now for our next step class and things like this. But thank you guys so much for being a part of the Church Online. Pastor Ron, I'm going to sign out for right now. If you need anything this week, make sure you let us know. All right. Good night, guys. Have a great week.